Hello and welcome to Nebo TV. Today we are going to discuss an interesting topic of a horrible history of James Jonestown, a pastor in the United States that deceived and forced his members to take their lives in 1950s. But before I go into today's show, my name is Onome Agbaje, and I would like to appreciate our returning subscribers and those joining us for the first time. It would do us a great deal if you smash the subscription button, like and share this video to your loved ones. So, there was a pastor in the United States of America called James Jones who deceived and forced many of his members to drink poison and die. This incident led to the death of almost 1,000 Americans. The majority of the members were African Americans. In the 1950s, Jones started preaching specifically to African Americans whom he most wanted to help. He often used healing rituals to attract new followers. These highly staged events claimed to heal people's illnesses, ranging from eye problems to heart diseases. Within 2 years, Jones had enough followers to start his own church. By selling imported monkeys as pets to people door to door, Jones had saved enough money to open his own church in Indianapolis. In 1956, Jim Jones founded the People's Temple in Indianapolis, Indiana. It started as a racial integrated church that focused on helping people in need. At a time when most churches were segregated, the People's Temple offered a variety of different views of what society could become. Jones was the leader of the church. He was a charismatic man who demanded loyalty and preached of sacrifice. His vision was socialist in nature. He believed American capitalism caused an unhealthy balance in the world, where the rich had too much money and the poor worked hard to receive too little. Through the People's Temple, Jones preached activism. Although just a small church, the People's Temple established soup kitchens and homes for elderly and mentally ill people. It also helped people find jobs. As the People's Temple grew increasingly successful, scrutiny of Jones and his practices grew as well. When an investigation into his healing rituals was about to begin, Jones decided it was time to move. In 1966, Jones moved the People's Temple to Redwood Valley, California, a small town just north of Ukiah in the northern part of the state. Jones picked Redwood Valley in particular because he had read an article that listed it as one of the top places likely to be hit during nuclear attack. Plus, California seemed much more open to accepting an integrated church than Indiana had been. About 65 families followed Jones from Indiana to California. Once established in Redwood Valley, Jones expanded into San Francisco Bay Area. The People's Temple once again established homes for the elderly and the mentally ill people. It also helped addicts and foster children. The work done by the People's Temple was praised in newspapers by local politicians. People trusted Jim Jones and believed he had a clear view of what needed to change in the United States. Yet, many did not know that Jones was a much more complex man, a man who was more unbalanced than anyone ever suspected. From the outside, Jim Jones and his People's Temple looked like an amazing success. The reality, however, was quite different. In fact, the church was transforming into a cult centered around Jim Jones. After the move to California, Jones changed the tenor of the People's Temple from religious to political with a strong communist bent. Members at the top of the church hierarchy had pledged not only their devotion to Jones, but had also pledged overall of their material possessions and money. Some members even signed over custody of the children to him. Interesting. Jones quickly became infatuated with power, inquiring his followers to call him either father or dad. Later, John began to describe himself as Christ, and then, in the last few years, claimed that he was himself God. Jones also took large quantities of drugs, both amphetamines and barbiturates. At first, it might have been to help him stay up longer so that he could get more work done. Soon, however, the drugs caused major mood swings in his health. His health deteriorated and it increased his paranoia. No longer was Jones just worried about nuclear attacks. He soon believed that the entire government, especially the CIA and FBI, was after him. In part to escape from the perceived government threat and to escape from an exposed article about the published, John decided to move the People's Temple to Guyana in South America after Jones had convinced many of his church members to move to a camp in Guyana. His control over his members became extreme. It was apparent to many that there was no escape from Jones' control. The majority of the church members were minors or elderly, and the fewer people of working age found it difficult to keep up with workload required to support the community formed by Jim Jones in Guyana. John was using heavy drugs that are meant to calm people with extreme mental problems. The living conditions were horrible. The work hours were long, and Jones had changed for the worse. When rumors of the conditions at Jamestown compound reached relatives back home, concerned family members put pressures on the government to take action. The drills served to keep the members of Jonestown fearful of venturing outside of the commune. Following two visits by United States Embassy personnel to check on the situation at Jonestown and an IRS investigation in early 1978, John became increasingly convinced that the attack he feared was imminent when a Congressman, Leo Ryan of California, took a trip to Guyana to visit Jonestown in 1978. The trip ignited Jones' own fears of a government conspiracy that was out to get him. Jones ordered his security guard to open fire on the congressman's party, which eventually led to the death of Rep. Leo Ryan and 3 others. Later, Jones received word that his security guards failed to kill all Ryan's party. Jones concluded that the escapees would soon inform the United States an attack and they would send the military to seize Jonestown. John told his followers he was going to distribute poison for everyone to drink in an act of suicide. A batch of fruit punch was served to everyone in the pavilion who sat by weeping and waiting for their death. That is horrible. After some time passed, Jones informed his followers that it was only a drill and there was not any poison in their drink. Throughout the White Night, Jones convinced his followers that the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, was actively working to destroy their community and conditioned them to accept suicide as a means of escape. When the Guyanese military arrived in Jonestown, it was too late because they found hundreds of dead persons on the ground. The United States military organized an airlift to bring the remains back to the United States to be buried. The incident led to the death of more than 900 persons. Jones was found dead on the stage of the Central Pavilion. He was resting on a pillow near his deck chair with a gunshot wound to his head. Jones' body was later moved for examination and embalming. The official autopsy conducted by Guyanese coroner Cyril Monteau in December 1978 confirmed Jones' cause of death as suicide. His son, Stephen, speculated that his father may have directed someone else to shoot him. The autopsy showed high level of barbiturate pentobarbital in Jones' body, which may have been lethal to a human who had not developed psychological tolerance. Jones' body was cremated and his remains were scattered in the Atlantic Ocean. Indeed, it is a horrible story and a sad one at that because of one man, over 1,000 Americans died. Well, this is a lesson to others. Let us know your take about this story. Drop your comment in the comment section below. And that's the end of today's show on Nebo TV. Do not forget to smash the subscription button if you are yet to do so. Like and share this video to your loved ones. My name remains Onome Agbaji. See you next time.